bonjour à tous, je suis avec Olof et Elize du groupe Amaranthe qui vont nous parler donc du nouvel album Manifeste qui sort le 2 octobre. So hi Olof and Elize, so thanks for having us and how are you?
Hey, very nice to meet you in person.
Very nice to meet you. Très bien, we're very good.
You speak French?
No.
Muy bien. No, wait, that's Spanish.
That's Spanish.
That's Spanish, yeah.
Sacre bleu. Nej, jag ska säga bleu. Nej, men
Sacre bleu, la métaphore
I'm
de
doing
la
sacre bleu.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means actually, but I know it means something.
So you're here to speak about the new album Manifest, which will be released in October the 2nd.
Yeah.
This is the 6th album. So how do you feel about it?
Very excited, of course. It's I don't know. It feels nice. It feels like we grew, both as human beings and musicians and artists and songwriters. So it's really nice to a little bit start over with Nuclear Blast and a new management and release another album 10 years later.
Exactly.
Since the first release.
No, but it's always exciting when we've been working on an album for a long time, and once it's done, then you only have it for yourself for several months.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a little bit scary knowing that everyone will hear this, that it's only been between the few of us, let's say. But now that we're definitely 100% comfortable and super happy with the album, so we're terribly looking forward to October 2nd.
Okay. So, and I read that you said that Manifest is the latest step of the evolution of Amaranthe. It's like a new era. So why?
I would say most of all it's a defining album for Amaranthe, definitely, because we started towards this path a little bit on the Helix album. So I would say that they are related. It's just that we really took it to the next level, and we really, because every album you're experimenting a little bit, obviously, but with the Manifest album it was really about making an album that is a statement of what Amaranthe is today, in 2020. Since the band has now existed for 10 years, more than 10 years, it was really important for us for the vision to be really clear of where we are heading. So it's it includes a lot of new elements. It includes a lot of passion and enthusiasm, and just like Elize said, we have a new management, new record label, so it's definitely a new era. It's a new decade as well, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to be with Nuclear Blast changed a lot for you?
I think so.
Yeah.
I have a feeling.
Yeah.
They
a good one.
Very good.
Yes.
One. Yes.
But the cooperation so far has been flawless, and they've been allowing us a lot of actually complete artistic freedom as well. They never required to listen to any demos. They didn't tell us what direction to head in. They just gave us the budget, and we went in and recorded an album. And the response that we got from it, it's kind of seldom for a record label to be that enthusiastic for an album. Because if a record label is enthusiastic for an album, that usually means that they have to pay for it at the end of the day, if they're too supportive, if you know what I mean. But the Nuclear Blast guys said that we're behind you 100% with this. We love what you're doing, and thank you for the passion and thank you for the music. That's possibly the first time we've heard that from a record label, actually. So that's a very good thing, of course.
Okay, and so before Manifest there was Elize, which was more metal, more heavier than the previous one, and it seems that Manifest confirms this trend. Don't you worry about the reaction of the fan, because some of them maybe can be overwhelmed of this change, this evolution?
I have always had a feeling that I always stay true to my own taste, and I love all kinds of music that I feel emotional about. Like songs or music that can make me feel something. And obviously, we always felt something about the music we've been writing. and then as long as I felt like I'm not getting shocked by our own music, I always thought that nobody else will also get, surprised or so.
Exactly.
But I mean, of course, I cannot know every person through myself, but I keep myself always like how do I feel about it? And then I'm just hoping that the majority of the listeners will feel like I do, but I don't know, what do you think?
I think that it's, yes, essentially, I think that you're 100% correct. I also think that, I think it's important to challenge the listeners a little bit as well. Because if you constantly deliver, the same thing, a lot of bands do, and it's not something inherently wrong with it. It can be nice as a fan to know that every album that is being released is just exactly the same. But Amaranthe is not that kind of band, I would say. We do change our lyrical themes, we change our musical direction, but there is always a core that remains the same.
Okay. And I saw that you went in studio in a hurry because of the close of the border. Mm-hmm. So how it was to record the album in this situation, in this condition, and how do you work on it? Does it change something for you?
It might have changed a little bit, actually. I think just my everyday mood was different. Like from the second I woke up until the evening, and all the days we are spending inside the studio, and that's where we create the music. So I would say that it has affected the results of the album a bit. It was never in a negative way though, I mean, except for that my grandmother died, but I always been able to fight through any kind of situation, basically. And I always have, like, as long as I'm able to do what I love to do, and I'm with people I feel safe with, like you and Jacob Hansen, obviously, since I know him from our first album recording. It was anyway like kind of a safe environment, a safe place to be, and I know also I wasn't the only person, losing someone during these times. So in one way I could feel like, we're so connected to the fans. Most people were actually on the social media or online somewhere, during quarantine. So there were a lot of people to talk to at the time. Mm-hmm. And every day was basically an adventure, because we didn't know what was going to happen the next day. Mm-hmm. If there would be some dramatic change, or if it would get better, or if it would get worse. So we just basically live the moment, try to make the best album ever, in case this would be the last album we make, You never know.
Yeah, that's true.
You never know. Like, that's a little bit how we saw it, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then of course there were practical circumstances, like would Nils and Henrik be able to come there? We had to arrange some special paper for them, so that was a little bit tricky. Johan recorded the bass in Finland. That's the first time he records in a different studio. Mm-hmm. But anyways, in the end, I think everything worked really nicely. And maybe even if it's not COVID, he might record his bass in Finland the next time, because he got 100% focus, and it turned out like really great. So, it was interesting.
Interesting.
And we were, of course, in isolation, but we are always in isolation when we are in the studio. That's how we feel. Disconnected from the rest of the world.
Okay, and I read that you write viral before the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Or the title, yes.
Yeah, the title. Did you think about the video before too, or it was influenced by the situation?
It was definitely a direct consequence of the situation, absolutely. The song was touching upon slightly different themes, but we interwove them with the current pandemic situation, because it was just too tempting of a title not to work in, to the current context. And the same thing with video, obviously. So initially the song was a little bit more focused on social media, and how that is a very fantastic thing and a very, very difficult thing to handle at the same time. Essentially, I think giving every person, in the world a voice is a powerful thing, naturally. But they're going to express a lot of opinions that people might not like, obviously. And there's nothing to filter it, nothing to censor it. And this creates a lot of, it gets very polarized. And that's a perfect example also, with the COVID-19 situation. that a lot of these debates about lockdowns, for example, takes a political tone. In the US, if you're on the left, then you want a lot more lockdowns. If you're on the right, then you want a lot less lockdowns. In Sweden, it's the other way around. So it's the first time that socialist Sweden find themselves agreeing with Donald Trump, which doesn't happen that often. So basically, with Viral, we were talking about these things, that the world can become very polarized. People are sitting behind in the light of their screens and yelling at each other because people are not socially distancing enough or not wearing masks and these kinds of things. When they should actually be focusing on the human element of it. And we want to be that human element and talk about how much we are longing to return to the stage, essentially.
Okay. And concerning the song Do or Die, on the video, we can understand that it's about ecology, and on the video at the end we see this little boy who seems to be the hope. Do you think that there's still hope for Earth?
Always.
Yeah, I always never lose hope.
Yeah.
Not actually in any situation, which might sound weird, but...
I think this the climate change is it's affecting the entire Earth, but it's more of a problem in the long term, obviously, for human beings than it is for the Earth.
Exactly.
If we manage to screw things up, we will only end up killing ourselves, and the rest of the world will go on without us, completely unaltered. Actually.
Yeah. They want the Earth doesn't give a shit anymore.
No, exactly. But even for humankind, there is always hope. These days people are talking about humankind in a very negative way, that we are a virus and that we are destroying the environment, but what people forget is that human beings are just as much as part of the environment as a monkey or a seal or a bacteria or whatever. We are no different than anything else. I call it exceptionalism when we try to put us above and besides nature. So we are not a virus or anything like that. We are a biological species like any other. Yeah,
but we are our action are maybe more have a more impact than some other species.
Of course.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Yes, exactly. We make impact more, and maybe we're using tools that we were not supposed to use, obviously. And there's no one else to blame than humanity itself. So I believe that in one way or another it's going to be taken care of.
And there's another song in the album, Boom, which is really different than the other, really catchy, more rap, and we hear you less on this.
I'm just a choir girl.
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely. So can you tell us a little bit about the song?
On the lyrical side, because it's a little bit connected with these political polarization that I was talking about before, that it's become such a huge debate that it's getting tiring for a lot of people. And the more people debate, the more far apart they end up from each other. The character in this song called Boom, he doesn't take sides, he just blows everything up instead. So it's a bit of a humoristic take on a serious topic, let's say. So it's a funny thing to be inspired by hip hop and rap and stuff like that, and see how it interacts with growls, because it's essentially the same thing. I even think that growling more or less came from hip hop rap. People heard rappers use their voice in an aggressive way without any notes or any tones. Metal people will hate me for this, but I think there's a connection. So yeah, we had a lot of fun with that, basically. It's a fun song, a bit more humoristic, but there's serious undertones in it as well.
Okay. And on the album you have two guests, Gossow and Noora Louhimo. How did you choose them, and how it was to work with them?
Interesting question. We actually have 5 guests on the album. Yes. And we have had Gossow as the guest for the single release of Do or Die.
Yeah, because there's another version.
On the album, exactly, on the album now is when I was. But we obviously have then Angela as our manager, and our surprise, she contacted us and told us about her. She had a vision, like a concept of a video and the theme, which is about the environment, that has been bothering her for a while, like many other people, and she just felt like, I need to get it out, you know. And so she asked us if we were interested in collaborating for that concept, and if we could write then the song for that. The video idea was also already done, and she was like also like asking if Amaranthe could stand for this kind of statement, if you know what I mean. And we were saying yes, of course. I mean, we have already been writing songs in the past which is about environment changing, like theory of everything, and stardust, and even digital world is a little bit touching upon that topic. That when we felt like, how's the future going to be like? Everything is going digital now. So yeah, this is a different, but still within our territory. So we said yes, and it was amazing. Of course, she's such an energetic person and strong, and like as a woman, I'm so proud, you know, to have her as one of the first females in the business, opening up doors for a lot of other women to dare to step in. And I also think Noora is one of these women who actually represents something new and fresh by being like extremely strong as well. And we were supposed to go on tour with Battle Beast now in August, to the United States, but of course that's not happening. It's not actually moved, it's been cancelled, and we are hoping that it will happen sometime. But of course one of the ideas with her was to be able to perform the song live together on the tour, which would be very fun. And yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, like, is there something? Yeah, okay, we can mention everybody who's on the album. We have Perto from Acoustic on Crystalline, and also Elize Holmlid from Dragonland, yeah, on Crystalline. He's playing piano, and of course Perto is doing his cello. And then we have a little piece of Heidi from Butcher Babies on Boom. Saying, wow, Gigi. Yeah, that part. I obviously didn't want to talk about him like this. I'm kidding.
Why?
I'm not impressed by him. We're fighting. We're Yin and Yang. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. And you said that some songs are talking about ecology, social media. What are the other themes on the album?
I would say empowering, optimism, positivism.
There's something we found on each album, this positive thing.
Yeah. We always wanted to tackle issues with the one element that we believe is the only, solution to each problem, is that just to keep a positive mind. Like never hate or create bloodbaths and stuff like this.
Exactly.
And then on the other hand, yes, we have the Archangel, which is a more philosophical story, or maybe you can tell something more about that.
That is a little bit more about the theistic mythology, I guess you can say. It's based upon John Milton's Paradise Lost.
Okay.
And about the fall of Lucifer and the war in heaven. So, but it's also a metaphor, just like the original story. I think it's a metaphor for not overreaching yourself and to become too proud, because then, like Icarus, you will burn your wings and you will fall down, basically, and you'll end up in hell.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for telling me.
That's so interesting. Okay, and so you said that you had to tour with Battle Beast, and you like all the concerts which are postponed or cancelled, but you will come back in France normally in 2021 in April.
Yes, that's the plan.
That's the plan. Yes.
Yeah, in Paris, Bordeaux, and Lyon. So, did you already think about the show, and what can we expect from this show?
we did start to think about it. It wasn't the planning phase actually when the whole thing got cancelled. And the things we were talking about was really to take it to the next level, because this will be by far our biggest headline tour so far.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's important that you just don't do the same show over and over. So we can't really talk about the details, but we can say that it's going to be the most spectacular Amaranthe show so far. It has to be also.
Yeah.
Okay.
It should be.
So we wait for this.
Yeah, we too.
So okay. So but thank you very much for your time.
Thank
so
you.
we are waiting for the new album in October, Manifest, and to see you on stage next week. So fingers crossed. So thank you very much, and see you soon.
Yes.
Thank you for taking the time, and thank you for coming over.
Thanks. Hi guys, this is Elize.
And I'm Olof, and we are Amaranthe, and you're listening to United Rock Nations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.